can safely say, tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
That was Nikki Haley claiming second place, even though the media at the time projected she would finish third in Iowa. Later in the final results, Haley was still third, 2,000 votes behind second place finisher Ron DeSantis and trailing him by 2 percentage points. Haley's ridiculous claim was just one of the many examples proving that the Republican Iowa caucuses were an absolute show. First, the voting itself. Even though much of the party thinks the 2020 election was rigged, at some caucuses they used paper bags to collect ballots. Did anybody shout voter fraud? Were there complaints about the integrity or security of the bags? Of course not, because the GOP is the party of hypocrisy and absurdities. The second place finisher was Ron DeSantis.
We have a lot of work to do, but I can tell you this, as the next president of the United States, I am going to get the job done for this country. I am not
going to get the job done, or I'm not a robot.
I am not going to make any excuses, and I guarantee you this, I will not let you down. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Says the man who lost to Donald Trump by 30 percentage points. For DeSantis supporters, that is a letdown. And even the conservative nuts on Newsmax laughed at DeSantis.
Let's bring out the First Lady.
All right, so Florida Governor Ron DeSantis right there delivering what sounded a whole heck of a lot like a victory speech there. I did not hear any congratulations for Donald Trump, who won by 30 points.
So first thing
all 99 counties, by the way.
First thing you do is you bring your spouse out real super early. Second thing, you always congratulate the person who won. And when you lost by 30 points, it looks kind of obvious when you overlook that.
Speaking of overlooking something, that was CPAC Chairman Matt Schlapp. Last March, GOP strategist comes forward publicly in sexual assault case against conservative leader Matt Schlapp. More recently, 2 more sexual assault claims surface against Schlapp, the head of conservative political organization. But none of that stopped Newsmax from featuring Schlapp in their GOP Iowa Caucus coverage. Maybe it was because the Iowa GOP caucus winner is an alleged rapist.
Fox News Decision Desk can now project that former President Donald Trump will win the Iowa caucuses.
He will take the lion's share of the state's 40 delegates. This result really solidifies his place as the current frontrunner for the nomination.
Yes, Trump is the GOP frontrunner, despite a jury and a judge in the E. Jean Carroll defamation case stating that Trump raped her. And never mind that case, Trump faces 91 felony charges for trying to change the 2020 election results in Georgia, for inspiring the January 6th Capitol insurrection, and for taking top-secret documents to Florida, where Trump enabled America's enemies to possibly steal America's most sensitive nuclear secrets and lists of U.S. spies. But whatever. In his Iowa victory speech, Trump spoke about other matters.
So we're going to come together. We're going to drill, baby, drill right away. Drill, baby, drill.
One imagines Trump was talking about drilling for oil, but the United States under President Biden is already drilling more domestic oil than at any point in U.S. history. And the United States is drilling more oil than any country in the world. So maybe Trump means something else when he says drill. For context, check out some of the testimony in the E. Jean Carroll case. Women, beware. And by the way, Trump in his victory speech referred to Presidents Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden and underscored that Trump is as disgusting as ever.
And, you know, my wife attended the funeral 2 months ago of Rosalind Carter, and it was beautiful. And Jimmy Carter was there, and I thought to myself, Jimmy Carter is happy now because he will go down as being a brilliant president by comparison to Joe Biden. He'll be a brilliant president. He's going to be known as brilliant.
Trump has delivered that line a few times now. What an ass. Some of my friends and family have been asking lately, what does this all mean that the Republican Party would make Donald Trump the frontrunner and the presumptive GOP presidential nominee? Well, in my view, this is not about conservative policies regarding taxation and issues like the border crisis, and it's not about America First isolationism and foreign policy. Now, the Donald Trump nomination is about a party that largely cannot stand America's institutions, including government, and wants to burn it all down. The GOP under Trump is a party that trusts nobody but him, will not accept reality, science, or basic facts, and hates everybody who is not a straight white Christian conservative, except on Newsmax. There's no room in the Trump GOP for compromise or negotiation or seeking common ground. All of that, they say, is for losers. Donald Trump has been sent here by the Almighty, and the MAGA maniacs insist that non-believers in government or academia or the courts must be more than defeated. They must be destroyed, eliminated, and pulverized. Only then, say the MAGA folks, does America stand a chance. Is this extreme? Absolutely. And that's where the MAGA faithful and Trump voters are today. Just listen to them.
If you look at the history of Jesus, it was hundreds of years later before he was recognized, and that's probably the same thing that's going to happen to Donald Trump.
When you see him, the presence that he has in the room, the way he kind of commands the crowd, and the way
I
that
think he's been picked by God, yes.
Yeah. He wears lifts. He wears lifts in his shoes. He wears a lot of makeup. He wears a girdle to hold in, his belly. Is that something, God would do?
First off, if you knew anything about the apostles,
Yeah.
okay, they were pretty much all trash. All right? They all had their bad qualities. And even Jesus was dating a hooker. I'm going to leave it on that one.
We want Biden to hang for treason.
Okay, well we'll get to that now. All right. So what is it, sir? Then now we're rolling. What is it that brings you out here today?
Trump. We got to save our country.
And what do we have to save it from?
Democrats.
All of them?
Yep.
And what do you think of the president?
Biden, he's not a president. He's a pissant.
What does never surrender mean?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear what the deep state's trying to do, They're trying to throw him in jail for something he basically never did, so.
The never surrender is a little bit confusing because this is his mugshot, right?
This is his mugshot, yeah.
And he was literally surrendering when he was doing this.
Yeah. See, now you're trying to spin it, but.
I'm just trying to state the obvious. I mean, I'm trying to understand. Explain to me, because some people look at this and they say, yeah, Donald Trump never surrendered, go after the deep state. And then other people say, well, why use a picture of him surrendering and have the line that says never surrender?
Can you repeat the question?
Why have a T-shirt that has a picture of his mugshot of him surrendering and then have it say never surrender?
Well, because you can't surrender to these people. I mean, it's like, I don't really know how to explain it too well, but.
These are not just a few fellow Americans. There are countless people, some who do not want to do television interviews, who believe that Donald Trump has been sent from God to break apart the deep state and destroy a government that protects Jeffrey Epstein and pedophilia. Never mind that Donald Trump was friends with Epstein and traveled on Epstein's plane. There is no logic to the Trump GOP. There's no accountability except when it comes to caucus results and primary votes. And in the GOP, Donald Trump is winning. It is not even close. The 2024 election is not a battle between Republicans and Democrats or between conservatives and liberals. It's a fight between a fascist cult and democracy. The Republicans are making their choice, and there is every reason to be horrified. By the way, one of Donald Trump's top supporters in Congress, Ohio Republican Jim Jordan, recently got eviscerated to his face during a House hearing.
Mr. Chairman, is this a joke? No, seriously, is this hearing a joke? This is a committee that now cares about subpoena compliance? And we're going to hold somebody in contempt for subpoena compliance? That's really interesting because, to me, it seems like you believe we all had our memories wiped 608 days ago when you failed to honor your own subpoena.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.